So question is highlight the difference approach of Subhash Chandra Bose and Dr. Mahatma Gandhi in struggle for freedom. Both Subhash Chandra Bose and Mahatma Gandhi had a vision of emancipating India from British rule, but Netaji adopted martial path, whereas Gandhiji Harvinder uh, Harvinder Ahimsa Gandhiji used satyagraha as a tool of freedom fighting. The difference of this approach can be summarized in following way: extremist versus moderate. Netaji was inspired by extremist tradition and followed the footsteps of Aurobindo Ghosh. In contrast, Gandhiji was a moderate nationalist inspired by Tilak. So Netaji carried out violent movement uh, to oust the British and gave slogan "Give me blood, I will give you freedom." And Gandhiji believed that satyagraha and mass mobilization can change the mindset of colonial ruler. Complete independence versus independence in phases. Both sought complete severance from British, while Gandhiji's goal vacillated between spiritual Swaraj, dominant status, and complete severance. International outlook versus indigenous force. Netaji wanted to use international turmoil was weapon of fighting and escaped to German ward yard. Later took charge of INA in Singapore. On the other hand, Gandhiji used indigenous forces like Swadesis, non-cooperation, salt satyagraha, and charkha, etc. Though they adopted different methods, but both are societies, socialist and believes in equality. Netaji believed freedom is not given; it is taken, which was opposed the belief of Gandhiji, but though different route they wanted to reach same destination, okay, to reach. So see the answer, but answer is not properly explainable by this person. So I think good, but we can improve other thing. So here you can return some of the important facts like moderate versus extremist, and complete independence in phases. Bose was more international his look and approach Russia, Germany, and Japan, while Gandhiji relied on indigenous forces like Swadeshi and Satyagraha, and Bose adopted violent means and all and violence means and led Indian National Army, while Gandhiji relied on non-violence means. For Gandhiji, it was means justify the ends, and the Bose was end justifies and means etc. So we can see the answer, and here the answer is not up to the mark. I think the given answer would be correct if the question was highlighted the difference in the approaches of Subhash Chandra Bose and Mahatma Gandhi in the national building. Here the question is the question is specific, and it is asking about the differences in approach Bose and Gandhiji in the struggle for freedom. So following points are missing: moderate versus extremist ideology, gradual transfer of powers, and revolutionary methods, mass mobilization and military approach. Britain's difficulty was India's opportunity. So here you can see in the comment. Another answer you can see. Answer is haphazard manner. May please tell me how Tilak was inspired for Gandhiji, inspiration for Gandhiji. So both had different ideologies. Tilak was extremist and had a conservative ideology. Gandhi, on the other hand, was moderate and had liberal ideology. So Tilak was extremist and had conservative ideology, and Gandhiji, on the other hand, was moderate and had liberal ideology. So this happened when we copy points from the sources without applying mind. I think Gokhale was the inspiration for Gandhiji. A second point is not according to the heading. Read daily again, article again, and you will find the mistake. Third point: Swadeshi non-cooperation and salt satyagraha are the movements, not forces. Mass was the two forces. And conclusion could be better. Find you wrote similarity, and then again dissimilarity in writing. So yes, Gokhale was the guru of Gandhi, but he was also inspired by Tilak. Second point is wrong. Please explain. And it is very difficult to explain everything in detail within 150 to 250 words. Anyway, I think being a Bengali and as a well wisher, you are overcritical here. You are misinterpreting third point, because if you know correct meaning of the force you will understand, and for correct manner you should we said it is an haphazard. I will wait for synopsis because earlier means many times people misguised me, reviewed wrongly and made me puzzle. One of the reasons why I stopped posting answer here, though I believe there is a scope of improvement in every answer. So review from a veteran like you is really priceless. Thank you for review. Keep reviewing. First, why I said that answer is written in a haphazard manner. Now here I read that Tilak was an inspiration. Gokhale should be written. A second point about Gandhi approach was not clear. How did Gandhi propound the independence on page? You did not describe about spiritual Swaraj. Spiritual Swaraj is not a common term, it is specific. I altered, at least you should write in brief. Third point, the mass of was the true force, language correction. Yeah, well, I thought that I gave a genuine review, but now I am thinking where I have given it. If you think that my review is misguiding you, then I am correcting my mistakes. You have written an excellent answer with a nice conclusion, and it is like a 10 by 10. Please ignore the previous genuine review. Thank you, and I did not think that I am overcritical. I am just genuine in review. All the best. And Nevi also written, you are losing your temper. I never said you are misguiding me. And I said review from veteran like you is priceless. I agree with your second point, but as I said, I did not explain it for word limit, but I am not agreeing with your third point. Anyway, I only said people misguided me and claimed they are giving genuine review, but synopsis and said something else. But that does not mean you are also misguiding me and you are overcritical. That does not mean your review is not correct. Yeah, because you were well wisher, I acknowledged I never said your review answer is written in haphazard manner is not genuine, but I said I will wait for synopsis for cross checking. I don't know about your experience in this regard. Honestly speaking, I have more trust on their so reviews who write answer regularly or if I read their answer at least once. Hope you understand. Every review is subjective, so there is no foolproof review. I may be is wrong or correct depending on the reference synopsis. No worries. So here you can see the debate. So here one of the answer it is mainly written by Jingle Singh Gandhiji and Subhash Bose were pillars of the national movement. In initial days of the national movement, they both operate as single force, but post 1930, there existed radicalization in thoughts of both. They both share similar ends with different means. Gandhi being strict promoter and of non-violence supported moderates approach approach 3P mainly petition, prayers and protest. Very and being strict promoter of non-violence supported moderates approach 3P, while both supported extremist ideas and violent for national movement independence. INS International INS formed by him supported violence. This was cause for Bose popularity among youth. Gandhiji, Gandhiji's stressed Gandhi stressed on concept of struggle, trust, Gandhi stressed on concept of struggle, trust, struggle, while both wanted a continuous struggle for national movement. Gandhian principle included Swadesh Satyagraha and resisted British support, while both had an international outlook where he took support from Germany, Russia, and Japan during formative years of provincial government. Gandhi opposed Subhas presidential at Tripura session of Congress and raised Pattabi Sitaramaya as his candidate. This varied in his post 1930 rift with Gandhiji. Both of them are iconic forces of in integrating youth, Dalit and women present etc. to freedom struggle. So very good answer. I think it is. So another answer. Jitendra written Mahatma Gandhi, Mahatma Gandhi and Subhash Chandra were the two most important figures of in the Indian national movement of our freedom, for freedom. Okay, and they played a most important roles in sinking the roots of British empire in India. And however, to achieve the common goal of freedom, they had different approach. Well, become clear during the freedom struggle strategy. Here, held that people do not have limitless potential of sacrifice. So, in a moment, the British need to be given chance to respond. While according to Bose, movement should not be stopped until the freedom. He openly criticized the Gandhiji when he stopped the non-cooperation movement and method of struggle. In method of struggle, Gandhi had the view that a population with the non-violence attitude can be achieved with the freedom. He stopped the movements when people restored the violence. While Bose had no such view, he believed in the community continuity of the movement, whatever happens. Bose went to the extent of waging a war against British Indian government, waging a war against British Indian government, and while Gandhiji did not support it, method of struggle and struggle strategy again seen, and freedom at any cost. So Bose wanted freedom at any cost. He aligned with the most fascist forces of the time, Germany and Japan. Gandhiji did oppose it. They had different approaches, even criticized each other, but they showed great respect to each other. While one was the face of India's militant potential, other was India's organized struggle. A good answer. Ending could have been better summarized with their contribution in freedom struggle. So thank you.